Hi everyone, I'm here again with another movement for quarantine practice, and I've been thinking so much about eyes lately. So if you haven't checked out my other eye relaxation practices in IGTV, please check them out. They're very different from what we're going to do today. So today we're going to talk about all the senses, all of our sense organs. They're all contained in the skull, so our focus today is in head, neck, skull, face area. So I'm going to invite you to find a comfortable seat, if that means leaning against a wall, or if that means even lying down, that's also fine. Always find your comfort. So we're going to just start by acknowledging that our senses support one another. What we hear can support what we smell, and what we smell can support what we taste. What we taste can support what we see. And that might be something you already have an understanding of just by life experience. Our nose, as we move our nose through space, orients our mouth. So as we move our nose, we're also moving our mouth. And as I move my mouth through space, maybe to find something to eat, right? I am moving my ears. And so as I move my ears, I'm also moving my eyes. Right? So there is a way that we can orient from one to the next. Vision, sight, is actually the one that sits on the top of this sensory pyramid, whereas all the others support our sight. Right? So smell can support taste, right? We know that one when we have a cold. Can support taste. Taste can support hearing, because we can move our ears to hear, and hearing is helping us see what we need to see by allowing our ears to turn and see something, right? When we hear something, we turn. So with this idea of this pyramid, maybe we can let these other senses, as we wake them up today, support our vision, right? So our sight, our eyeballs themselves can take on less of the toll, the emotional labor of life. Right? So for the primary bulk of this practice, we're going to keep our eyes closed. So get used to opening your ears and letting them support you through this, like I said, this big chunk of our practice. At the end, we'll open our eyes and find more connection with vision. But I want you to see if you can keep your eyes closed for a while and just listen to the instruction. And if you're wondering if you're doing it quote unquote right as I guide you, just know that whatever you're doing is right. It's your exploration, and that's all we're here to do, is to explore and open up and see what comes up for you. So any truth, any guidance that you're drawn to, stick with it, explore, maybe tune me out if you need to, right? Maybe another sense needs to be primary for you to be in that moment. So here we go. We're going to close our eyes in whatever comfortable seat you're in. We're going to let our vision take a rest for a little while. And we're going to start by moving our head and our neck from our nose. So maybe that's a little up and down nodding action. Maybe that's side to side with a no, with a turning of the head no. Or you can go back and forth or make circles. Just explore. And notice if you notice a scent. Right? See if you notice a scent in the air, coming from your body. Maybe your nose turns toward your shoulder. You put your hand to your nose. Maybe you smell the air. Just let your head and your neck move from your sense of smell, from the movement of your nose. And that can look like anything. And what do you feel in your body from your sense of smell, from the scents surrounding you? Notice as you move your nose, your mouth and your jaw follow. So we're just going to allow our nose to come back to stillness and allow the jaw and the mouth to find some movement. So back of the throat would be the deepest part of your mouth. If you want to swallow, to find it, you can open your mouth, you can yawn. You could wiggle your jaw. You could stick out your tongue. What do you taste in the air? Is there a scent in the air that you can actually taste? Let your head and your neck move from your mouth, from your jaw, from the curiosity of your throat. Does your mouth make different shapes or sounds? As you move your mouth, notice how that turns the ears. Your nose and your mouth are on the midline of your face, but the ears are on either side, making these sweeping arcs around the mouth. So as I turn my mouth, which turns my neck, my ears take in the room. So let your ears take in the room. How do they want to move through space? And how does that help them hear? Moving your head from the ears. Maybe you do a little spinal twist that starts from the ears, twists you around to the right or the left. Can you find balance between the two ears, finding a sense of levelness, allowing sound in. And we're going to keep the eyes closed, but carefully, safely make your way to your hands and your knees. If you need to come to your forearms instead of your hands, because if wrists feel sore, shoulders feel tender, find a position that feels good. But we're just trying to find a position where our spine is parallel to the ground, relatively speaking. It doesn't have to be perfect. And we're going to go back to the nose, and we're going to move more of the body here. So as the nose arcs up into space toward the ceiling, it's going to arch your whole back. If you're familiar with yoga poses, this is cow pose. So your back is arched, your head and your tail are lifted to the ceiling, chest is open, moving forward. And so I've lifted my nose to lift my tail and really feel that arch. Now arc your nose down toward the floor. Find cat pose in yoga, or flexion of the spine, curving the back toward the ceiling, hollowing the front body in, and just move back and forth through this. So lead with your nose. Lead with your curiosity for smell. What's the different smell up here versus down in your cat? Meet in cat. And let the head dangle, the tail dangle. Let your jaw dangle. You could even shake out the mouth. Right? Really let your mouth and your throat relax and open. I know you're not actually tasting food or drink right now, but what do you taste in the air? What does your mouth feel like, taste like? Right? And then let's press back into downward dog. So that is weight bearing on the arms and the feet with the butt in the air. And your knees could be bent here. If this feels too extreme, you can come more into a squat pose. Just something where your spine is hanging forward and you're standing on your legs. And your arms, of course, is fine too, but you're really getting some weight into the legs and your butt is in the air. And so I just want to get a sense of taste. My mouth is kind of leaning forward and down diagonally away from my butt. My butt is high, and so I'm getting this relationship of butt to mouth, right? They're two ends of one axis. My mouth is really supporting the lift of my tail. Find that nice stretch through the legs if you've got it. And then coming back down to the floor, hands and knees. That was our mouth giving us support for down dog. Eyes are still closed, and I'm just going to side bend. I'm on hands and knees, but if you want to come to your sitting pose to do side bend, you can. But if you know what I'm talking about, you're curving like a C shape of your spine. My ear is bending toward my shoulder, so that side bends my spine, whether on hands and knees or sitting. And I'm side bending the other way, leading my ear to shoulder. Right? So I'm working with sound, with hearing as I bend this whole shape. Let your ears hear the pose, the movement, the space around you. Eyes are still closed. Darkness behind your eyes is really, really peaceful, right? And just coming back to sitting, keeping those eyes closed. You can let go what you were just doing. And however you're seated, just notice how your sense of smell can come and support your sense of taste. Taste can support sound. And can you rest in those different senses, those different inputs. We're going to play with opening our eyes now, but what we're going to do is open and close quickly, taking a little snapshot. So whatever you see, just you'll take a snapshot of what you see, close your eyes again, and take a moment to rest in the darkness. Again, smell, taste, and hear the world around you. And then take another snapshot of your eyes. Take a deep breath. And now we're going to open the eyes. Let your eyes open without taking any main focus. So allow your gaze to be really soft and wide, so you're not focusing on anything. And start to move from your eyes. So move your eyes around the room. And see if you can feel the support of your nose, your mouth, your ears around and behind what you're seeing. So as you look at something, soft gaze, can you smell it? Or can you hear it? Can you taste it? I can see the trees out the window, and I can't touch them or smell them, but I can imagine the sound that they make when air rustles through the leaves. I can imagine that sound so that my eyes are not so heavily influencing my experience. And I can smell the scent in the room around me, the incense smell. I'm just going to let the back of my throat relax. to relax. Turning the head, turning the eyes. Now bring your gaze to a more focused point, so you can look at something very specifically, look at some details of the thing you're looking at. And maybe you notice some patterns emerging, maybe the tense brow or the wrinkle in your forehead, right? Can you really soften through all of your senses, right? The whole head is supporting your vision right now. So breathing, smelling, right? And maybe we're not smelling anything in particular, right? Or maybe we're not hearing anything in particular, but allow your senses, the mouth, the ears, the nose, even your sense of touch there, to see what you see. And take 3 deep breaths as you do that. Looking at the detail of your focal point from all of your senses. And then relaxing your sight. I want to thank you so much for joining me. This was a lot of fun. And I hope you enjoyed it. Keep exploring your head and your special senses, your sense organs there. And I'll see you next time for another practice. Thanks, everyone.